So in this video we're going to first of all describe what a surd is, and then I'm going to show you how to simplify surds, and after that we're going to look at how we can add and subtract surds, and after that we've mastered these methods, we're going to move to multiplying and dividing surds, and then we're going to end up with a process which is called rationalizing. So how we can rationalize a surd if you have a single surd in the denominator, or if you have a binomial denominator, meaning you've got an expression in the denominator. So first of all, we're going to start by defining what a surd is. So a surd is root of a number, okay, which can't be simplified further. For example, if you have root of 4, you get exactly 2, so this one can be simplified. So this one is not a surd, all right? But what if you have root of 2? Root of 2 can't be simplified further, so that qualifies as a surd. You can have root of 5, or you can have root of 3. So all these are actually surds. And in the same way, you can have root of 7 because it can't be simplified more. So all these numbers become surds. So they are root of numbers which can't be simplified further, if you want a straightforward definition. Now, you can have surds which can be simplified further. For example, you can have root of 20, and 20 can be broken down as a product of two numbers. And then after that you've broken it down, you can actually separate the two numbers with the square root. And the way we separate is that we always think of a square number which can be multiplied to another number which will give you 20. So what are square numbers now? Square numbers are numbers you get after that you've squared, different numbers. For example, 1 square is 1, 2 square will be 4, 3 square will be 9, 4 square 16, 5 square 25. So these are all square numbers. Okay, so 20 is 4 times 5, where 4 is one of the square numbers, you see. So you can write the 20 as a product of two numbers, and then you can separate it. So root of 4 times 5 is root of 4 times root of 5. And then root of 4 is 2, so you end up getting 2 root of 5. We can try another example. We can try root of 200. So 200 is 100 multiplied by 2. And in the same way, you can split it. So it's root of 100 times root of 2, and that would give you 10 root of 2. So that covers up the first section, which is about the simplification of surds. And now we're going to jump to the second one, which is going to involve the addition and subtraction of surds. So we're going to move to this section now whereby you're going to add and subtract surds. And the rule it follows is the same as the rule of algebra, whereby you try to group like terms. So for instance, if you have 5 root of 2 plus 3 root of 2, you can see that the root of 2 is common here. It's as if you have 5x plus 3x, which gives you 8x. So you're going to treat the root of 2 in the same way. So 5 root of 2 plus 3 root of 2, that's going to give you 8 root of 2. So that's how you can add it. And in the same way you can subtract. So 9 root of 2 minus 3 root of 2. Like I said, you can treat the root of 2 as x. So 9 minus 3, that's 6. So it ends up giving you 6 root of 2. So that's how surds behave when you have addition and subtraction. However, if you have different surds, you can't actually add or subtract them. For example, if you have 9 root of 3 minus 5 root of 2, you can see here that the surds are different. So here you won't be able to simplify. So it doesn't become any other simpler form, let's say. So that was the second section where we looked at addition and subtraction. Now the third one is going to involve multiplication and division. So how can we multiply and divide? All right, so to actually multiply or divide, you need to learn a couple of different rules. So you need to know that if you multiply root of a times root of b, you're going to get root of ab. That's the first one. And the second one is, if you have root of a divided by root of b, that becomes root of a over b. So these are the two main rules you actually use when it comes to multiplication and division of surds. So we're just going to pop in a few numbers here just to illustrate the two different examples we have here. So if you have root of 5 times root of 2, that gives you root of 10. So over here I'm actually applying the first one, the first rule. And for the second one, let's say we have root of 8 divided by root of 2. That becomes root of 8 over 2, which is the same as root of 4, which simplifies further to actually give you a nice number, which is 2. So that's how you multiply and divide different surds. Now we're going to jump to the last section, which is about the rationalizing of surds. Okay, so we're going to start with a simple example. So now we are exploring how we rationalize. Okay, so let's say you have 1 over root of 2 and you need to rationalize it. Before I show you the process, I need to explain to you that when you're rationalizing, what you're actually doing is that you're trying to get rid of the denominator. Okay, so for example, 1 over root of 2 you can multiply to root of 2 over root of 2, and then what happens is you get 1 times root of 2, that's root of 2. Root of 2 times root of 2 gives you 2. So you were able to get rid of the fraction in the denominator. All right. And in the same way, we can rationalize another surd, but now actually the surd is going to be a binomial one, so it's an expression. So this one will, for this one to simplify, actually you need to write, you need to multiply to the conjugate of the denominator. So what does conjugate mean? In conjugate, you're actually changing the sign to the reverse of it. So root of 3 plus root of 2 is actually root of 3 minus root of 2 as a conjugate. And you're multiplying by the same expression, but basically the conjugate of that expression. So this becomes this one, and then when you need to simplify now, you can observe that there's a difference of squares, because this is the same as a plus b times a minus b. So if you remember the difference of squares formula, if you're multiplying a plus b to a minus b, you end up getting a squared minus b squared. So over here it becomes root of 3 to the square minus root of 2 to the square. And in the numerator it stays root of 3 minus root of 2, because you're multiplying 1 to that. So you end up getting root of 3 minus root of 2 divided by 3 minus 2, which simplifies to root of 3 minus root of 2. Okay, so that was a summary of all the important skills you need to have when you're working with surds.